I'm sorry we're late. This motherfucker can't shut up.
Well, here a question for you. What happened to the trailer? Because it started off with the 5, 4, 3, and then it began the new.
Well, it was working fine for me.
Up to the aliens. It's your fault, kid. Stop taking me.
They don't want you.
In fact, I know.
It's like seriously, I don't. They don't take you. My wife doesn't like you, man.
I know.
She finds you quite annoying.
Good.
Both the one up there and down here.
There you go. See?
That's not exactly something to be constantly proud of, man.
As it's be proud of, they'll not take me again, you know. Who is the one down here out of curiosity? Come on, everybody's been waiting in anticipation, man. That's what the Rocky Horror Show. But everybody's been waiting in anticipation. Who is she? Who is this older woman from the stars? That isn't Danny, is it?
Oh God, no! And that is our business.
Okay.
You want to speak up there, motherfucker?
Oh God!
Put the shiznit at you.
Have we were here. What it says that they'll be me light the new, they'll be gone. You would die laughing if that happened. I'd be like,
oh, that would be fucking hilarious.
Oh,
and
God.
You know, they'll stick you somewhere where you can get into NASA's Wi-Fi, and you can be able to broadcast from the moon as you're taking your last breath of breath of life, freezing over in the void of space.
I don't know. I think space would be all right. I mean, I could go on a one-way trip to Mars. See if everything was there for me, if all the food was there for me, and there was an Xbox with unlimited games and stuff like that, I'd be happy.
You would not make the trip.
I would make, but it's not as if you've got to be. What do you mean make the trip? It's not as if I'm walking there. Okay, I mean you're in a spaceship.
You would not make the trip.
Eating like
first off, your ass is too fat.
Fine. You look at fucking tongue. How do you get into space? Of course, that's right. I'm forgetting. The extraterrestrials beam me up. Beam me up.
It's like first off, close. Maggie, that's what I haven't seen her in here around in the show a long time.
That's a long time. That's what, months ago since the last time Maggie came in. Oh, is that just Scottish shit?
No, just spending time with someone. So.
Oh my God, Lawrence.
What did Lawrence do?
Look what he put. Yes, that's right, Lawrence. That's what Dakota's into. If you would believe it.
What did he put? I'm not seeing it. Where is it?
I put it up. It's there. It's there. Can you see it?
Where? Where the fuck is it?
Lawrence is right into that kind of stuff, man. Honestly, the things he tells me about what he gets up to in the space is horrendous. Star Mills.
You wish I would. You wish I would tell you. You fucking perv.
He put Star Mills.
Well, yeah. I mean, she just.
Well, can I get a question for you? That's something I was thinking about the night. Right, doing an Earth. What age are you? What's your exact age? 28, right? Which you look far older, but we'll never mind that now.
You're one
Space
to talk.
women. Well, I know I'm nearly 43. I'm thinking me is closer to God than you. But here's a question for you, right? What age is your woman in space?
Earth years, she's a little over 200, if I remember correctly.
200? Wait. I mean, oh, wow. She
just popped out baby number 4.
What do you think of that, Lawrence? Dots, 200-year-old girlfriend. Well, I mean, wife. Could I ask a question? When did she get married, by the way?
There's actually a spot within the Federation motherships that are commonly used for like gardening and weddings and stuff like that.
That's right, Lawrence.
Olivia's married now.
Because time's different in space, isn't it? Time doesn't really.
Yeah, my oldest daughter's married now, and we just had our 4th kid.
You're a great grandfather then.
No. Not yet. she's already talking about making me a grandfather. It's like, I'm not even 30, damn it.
It'll be really awkward when you get back there, isn't it? It's going to be a little awkward. Well, no, you'll be the same age then, won't you? Because you're in a cocoon, aren't you? In a pod.
I don't know. It's
You'll pop out.
some of
like
the
a-
stuff I've found out recently. It's a little bit more complex than we originally thought. That's what the Francis Files is for, so I can
Look,
actually have a chance to talk and
ladies and
explain
gentlemen,
all the details.
look, ladies and gentlemen, you need to watch this Francis Files thing, but also know this: that Dakota likes his women older.
It's not my fault.
Well, you've got that kind of about you. You know, if that's what you're into. Congrats on your granddad. Just think, by the time you're 50, you'll be a great granddad.
So there's talk of my oldest being getting ready to have a kid of her own, but yeah. And technically, I already am a granddad because of my fucking sister. God. I was a surrogate father figure for her, and I'm having to do the same for her kid. Nothing like
What's
Sweet Home
happened?
Alabama, you sick fucks.
No, but here's an interesting thing. Right? Here's a question, right? Like, say,
God.
hypothetically, say this happened, right? What would happen here, right?
Why are you so obsessed
You're
with
great.
my love life?
No, I just find this interesting.
Why are you
right?
so obsessed with my love life?
But do you not think it's? I mean, do you have to pay any back time when like the kids were born and stuff like that? Because you weren't there.
No.
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 No. But you'll be all right. Thank God I'm a human soul.
No. Hey, I was actually there for the birth, so.
What is that? Was it kind of like Alien? Again, how the alien,
No.
the guy's sitting down to his dinner, and he thinks he's all right after he said that thing stuck to his face, and he's sitting there like stuffing his face with like
God.
food and all that kind of stuff. Now, so he's like, I don't know, like popped out, and it ran across the flare and into the ducting or something like that.
And you wonder why I've stopped working UFOs with you.
What do you mean? It's Alien. I was a young child when that was released. I'll have you know that is one of the iconic games. You ever played it? It's good.
That's something that explains a lot about your penal and fascination.
Well, there's an interesting. I didn't like what they did with Prometheus and all that kind of stuff. See what they did with Prometheus and all that kind of, and if we're to go into the genre of that, I didn't like what they did with that because there's a lot of Star Wars folk out there that don't like what they did with Star Wars. Remember how they brought the old ones out, and then they brought the new ones out, but they're really the old ones. But the new Star Wars that came out is absolutely.
Well, Prometheus, they were kind of basing it loosely on some of the lore involving the Anunnaki.
That's right, because they thought that the giants were the Anunnaki, but they weren't really. There was two different races of them. There was the builders and there was the scientists.
There's more than that, but the simplified for movie terms, yes. Did you see Spielberg's actually getting ready to make a new UFO movie?
I heard that.
Speaking, try to shift the conversation into something modern.
What do you mean modern? I'll have you know, I was around when Blade Runner came out. That's one of my favorite movies, Blade Runner. Do you know? Right, I'm going to blow you away here. Do you know Blade Runner has a connection with Alien?
Yes.
You know that some people don't get it. Some people, because the same corporation that makes the humanoid robot things, it's the same corporation that sends the, what do you call it, for the, what do you call it? Is it Wayne Industries? And it also is the same corporation as the one that go and try and get the aliens. They're actually working on a new one.
Wayne Industries, huh?
So
you're talking Batman was involved in the
no Wayne Industries. No, what was the guy? Right? See, what was his name? What was his name? The guy that was on Mars and before they froze him in Prometheus. What was his name? Right, he was the original founder. He was the original founder of the corporation that made the synthetics. Because when he died, it all transferred over to a different corporation, but it was the same name, and it was something Wayne, something Industries or something like that. I'm just getting mixed up. But anyway,
I was about to say, yeah, that Wayne Industries, that's Batman.
I just get mixed up, ladies and gentlemen. It's all right. I'm getting old and decrepit. He's got to be looking for somebody soon. I'll be getting into my home. I'll bump into his uncle. I'll bump into his great granddaughter. She's only 5,000 years old. Whaling. Thank you. Whaling. There you go. Whaling Industries. I was close. Whaling Industries. Well, he's actually right. See in Blade Runner. You're too young to remember this, but in Blade Runner, they had the synthetics, right? Well, it was his company originally, like 200 years before then, or whatever it was. It's mad if you follow the what make me fall asleep here. They'll make a movie about you one day.
I'd be very scared to see how they perform the sex scenes. Hey, you keep fucking asking about it, you sick fuck.
Can I ask you something? You're not a humanoid then, are you? Are you humanoid up there? Or are you like big tentacles?
I'm human. Still.
Well, you're not really human. You're not for Earth, but you're for a different part of the galaxy. Obviously, there's humanoids in the galaxy. I know that. But what I'm saying is, Dakota, what's that? Do Draco Matting Claw make a good back scratch? What's that? What's that he's going on about?
That'd be like trying to please yourself with a velociraptor claw there, Dots.
Well, if Dots is into pleasing himself with a velociraptor, he should be allowed to. It's a free country. Well, I don't know if he is, but it's a free world, you know.
Not really. Liberate the people. Oh wait,
I've got one for you, right? I've had folk asking me this. I stay kind of away for this kind of stuff, but I'm going to ask you about it. What's your opinion in the weird news that's been coming out this weather about saying that there's a new brain illness, and if you see these people, their faces might be changing? You seen that?
Okay, there's a couple different conditions you just described.
No. They're starting to put it out. Now, you remember that incident in the plane with the woman screaming frantically, saying that the person had changed into a demon?
Yeah,
Remember
Tiffany
it?
Gomez.
Right. No, this is the same. This is what they're saying. It's the same thing. It's some kind of weird condition that you get that will make you see these demon-looking people, right? But all the reports that everybody's seen, they all look exactly the same, which I find strange. Because if you had something wrong with you, you're a totally different person, you would think that that person that looked like a demon would look totally different. But everybody that's had this, they all look exactly the same. They look weird. Right? What's that film? I'll tell you what they look like. See, what's that superhero film? You're into all this kind of stuff, and it's like Avengers stuff. What's the name of her? She's a woman. She's a like superhero.
Woman superhero.
Oh, come on, you're into this kind of stuff. But in the movie,
You
there's
talking
aliens.
like shit? Oh, Captain Marvel.
Right. See the first Captain Marvel. Right. See the aliens that are feared for the cat because she's right. Well, seemingly this is what people have been seeing. People that look like that. Look it up the new. Look it up, guys. And people have been saying. I was talking to somebody, and somebody sent me a video of her, and this construction worker in the United States, he was sitting in his cab at night, and he seen this thing walk out, and it looked at him, and it looked dead like one of them, and he made the mistake of telling somebody, and they said that he has this syndrome that makes them see these things, which is interesting.
Considering that is an actual species that's out there.
See, but that's what I'm trying to say is, for us that don't understand this kind of stuff, what is that? Because they're actually saying in the media, the mainstream media, that if you see a creature like this, it's you really just have a mental disease of some kind, which is really no true, because there actually is creatures like this, and it's just to cover it up. The fact to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
See where I'm going?
They're a form of they're reptilian-based life forms. They're like Dot says in the chat, partially based on the Naga.
Yeah,
and they're not all negative. There's actually some stories coming out of, say, like India, if I remember correctly, where the Naga are pretty prevalent in their in Hinduism and Buddhism and stuff like that, of these beings actually trying to help people.
So who are they then? Why are there? I watched a thing the other night there, and it says that there's over 1 million different species of extraterrestrials on this earth.
I wouldn't say they would be that high, but
I know, but you came at TikTok's like, but there is meant to be quite a lot of species.
There's your problem. You're basing all your intel on TikTok.
No, that wasn't the intel. That was actually CNN. I was watching an article on it, and they were going on about there's this new illness, and if you see one of these creatures, you've got a mental illness.
Yeah. I haven't seen this though, so if you actually have something,
I will look
show
it up.
me.
I will look it up. I've got it in my iPad over there. It's different accounts, so I'll show you after. But it is. It was. I seen it, and it was. I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this craziness? Because they said it was American news. It was CNBC. It was CNN that was reporting it, and they're saying there's this new disease sweeping the country, and I know CNN, the Clown News Network, but look, I was like, what in God's name is this madness? And it was, if you just type on new disease, and it's making people see these strange creatures. I seen a guy talking about it on YouTube and all that kind of madness. I didn't read into it that much, and I just thought, holy shit, what's going on there? I just thought it was like a phase or that. But it's the way they show them, they look so like them out the Marvel movie. And then I thought maybe it's just something to do with the. But look, the world's messed up, man. Get what I mean? I will say that image Dot sent me was interesting.
They're calling it PMO.
There you go.
Which parts of the faces of other people appear distorted in shape, texture, position, and color. There's some that they describe like, yes, they kind of look like the scrolls from the Marvel films.
Yeah.
But some also describe the appearance as looking more like Klingons or the Vulcans from Star Trek.
Aye, they've got the weird kind of ears. The ears are kind of pointy. But I mean, this is just a new thing. You would think if that was about, why is it just happening now? You would think there'd be cases for maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even. Why now? Is all their weird cloaking material makes them look human starting to wear off?
Well, there's a couple different things you got to take in consideration. One, not everybody's going to be strapping themselves in to see if they have some sort of weird brain illness unless there's something seriously wrong. Exactly. So there could be several people out there who may have this condition and assume that it's normal.
Yeah. But there is going to be people out there that have never experienced anything like this in their entire life. They're sitting one day and they see this weirdness.
Makes you wonder.
I mean,
honestly, when you really think about it, considering all the different neurological disorders, there's a lot of people that make the argument that all of these things didn't exist back in the day.
Of course.
And maybe that could be the case. Or perhaps we can look at it from a different angle. They were always there. We just became more aware of certain things. And if these neurological conditions have always existed, that would explain some of the shit coming out of mythology.
Oh, yeah. You think about, schizophrenia, right? You think of schizophrenia. You think about long ago, right? If you to go back to the Middle Ages, the witch trials and that, right? And somebody with schizophrenia and started shouting and screaming and saying, "Oh, look at that. I can see it. I can see it." How do we know, Ken, that the person that witnessed this wasn't just hallucinating?
One, they could very well have been hallucinating, and they would have probably been taken in themselves. And when you actually look at a lot of the symptoms of these alleged witches that they exhibited, these are people having epileptic seizure fits.
Yeah. Yep.
They were not well and being burned alive because of it. Because of that misunderstanding.
That Leonard Lowe, the witch guy that we've had on a few times, I was talking to him about this. And a lot of the witch trials were men that wanted the woman, right?
Yep.
And the women wouldn't go with them, so they deemed them as a witch. but some of them were mentally ill. Were
They
mentally
had
ill.
something seriously wrong with them.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why they were done. And it still happens today. I mean, there's people. I've met some strange people out there. I've met you're one of them, but I've met like some really strange people out there. I know, yes, I know I'm a strange individual, but come on, there is some really weird. Look, go to TikTok. That TikTok is the maddest world. If you want to laugh tonight, guys, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to say to yourself, "Well, I'm not really that intelligent," go to TikTok, and 5 minutes later, I can guarantee you will feel like Einstein.
Oh yeah, I'll
Yeah, I
give you
mean,
credit there. I'll give you credit there.
because there's some absolute mad. What is this to do with the sun? See, honestly, I'm going to say this for whoever's watching this: don't point your cell phone into the sun. Are you stupid or something? You'll burn out the sensor. This is what people don't realize. Oh, look at all the weird pattern on my screen. No, that's the sensor slowly dying, trying to
Yeah.
focus on. If you want to do it correctly, you buy a lens for looking at the sun or a pair of welding goggles and hold it behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's people doing it and they're, oh, look at that. That's all the light bulbs that's in the sun. It's not all the light bulbs, it's the pixels slowly dying in your camera as it's trying to focus on the massive bright light.
Yeah. Yeah. People. It just goes to show how bad the education system has really fucked people
It
over.
really is. It really is. The education
Because
system's horrendous now, man.
I mean, first off, if people actually took half the time it took to try to come up with certain stories, these certain narratives, to actually look into what's going on,
Yeah.
they may actually find that certain instances may actually be a hell of a lot more disturbing
Oh, yeah.
when you really consider it. There's a lot more fucked up shit out there, but you need to get off your ass and actually be able to look into it and not just go, oh, sun, fake light bulb.
I know. They're trying to say that it's 500 light bulbs in the Chinese have built a space station. Do you really think, for somebody that's watching this, that you could build an artificial sun? You probably could, but it would be
Well,
they've no.
I was about to say,
But it's no as bright as the sun. It's like the sun. It's no as you care what I mean. Really,
Chris,
really.
the Chinese
I if
actually
you
have
yeah, I am.
the Chinese actually has developed I can't remember exactly what it is, but it looks like the power generator out of Spider-Man 2.
Oh
When
right,
it
right.
gets
Yeah, I've seen
turned
that movie.
on, it literally looks like an artificial sun on the earth. It is bright enough to turn night into day, which in China, you have to be careful because if you have something that lighting up that much power with how much pollution is in the air, they've had to cancel fireworks shows because they would essentially turn everybody into napalm victims.
See, I've heard that, but I've never investigated it. I've
Oh,
heard
it's
that
legit.
it's a lot of the flat earthers think that. A lot of the people that think the Earth's flat.
Well, the Chinese actually just put out a submarine system that can actually be propelled by lasers, dude.
I seen that.
They
I did
figured it
see
out.
that. I
They
ken
figured it
somebody that's
out.
into that kind of stuff. I seen that.
Yeah.
I seen that. As the technology that's coming out the news is absolutely fantastic. But I'll tell you another bit of technology. This has nothing to do with the space. This is nothing to do with paranormal whatsoever. See the new electric cars that's getting built now. The new electric cars that will be built from 2025 will now be classed as disposable cars.
Disposable cars.
Yeah. They're designed once they break, you can't repair them.
Oh, like that's going to be helpful for the environment.
And the
I'll
reason
try to claim they're
you'd be
saving.
like, what am I talking about here? I know somebody that works in the car industry, and they were telling me that they actually work for Jaguar and stuff like that, design cars, engines, parts of engines and stuff. And they were telling me today that 2025, the new electric cars, especially Chinese electric cars that will be coming out, are designed to break down after 6 years. Their
Mhm.
lifespan is 6 years, right? And you'll be like, what do you mean they'll be designed to break down? The the drive shafts, the motors, the bearings, they're designed to break after a certain amount of miles. And plus, they've got a code in them. I didn't ken this either, but this is madness. Do you know that the Chinese could shut down the entire grid in the United States and the UK and all the Western countries that have bought these cars just by flicking a
Mhm.
switch
Mm-hmm.
with the software that's on them? Horrendous. Research disease you're talking about, Chris, it's been around for over 100 years at least. I took it in development pills. Oh, thank you very much, Ian. Thank you very much. Where's he going? Is he away back to his wife, ladies and gentlemen? I think he is. Dakota! Dakota! Come back! And he's been took, guys. That's that. His wife's taken him back. His wife's took him back, and we'll never see him again. Look, the electric cars nowadays are utter rubbish. I mean, come on. See if you live somewhere like California or Nevada, somewhere warm, right? They're fine. Aye, they're quite good to get about the city in, right? But no Scotland, no the UK, no Ireland. Because as soon as you put the heater on, there's a guy up the back from me, got a Tesla. Did you enjoy your trip? What happened?
I don't know.
Was it? But anyway, I was just telling them the guy up the back from me has got a Tesla, and electric cars are not that good because he gets a 200. He was boasting he gets 200 miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I says, "What's it like in the winter time when it snows?" He says, "Oh well, you have to preheat the battery so it goes down to about 140 mile." Oh right. Can you get a heater? Oh, aye, if I turn the heater on, it drops down to 100 miles. And I says, right, so and other kind of things you've got to kind of things that he says by the time that's how you get 60 miles to a charge in the winter time with the snow. It's worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Iron Firehorse. She was saying that about she was telling the psychology that disease has been around for a long time. I did not know that. Thank you very much.
It has. But certain things have started to become a little bit more prevalent because they're saying that a version of the coronavirus,
Oh, God, I know.
that it is starting to cause hallucinations. So
anyway, back to the electric cars. This guy works for a certain car manufacturer that was telling me this, and I'm not saying who he is because I don't want to give him any trouble. But
Ford.
no, British mate. But anyway, what do you call it? He knows people that work in the Chinese factories and stuff, and they're bringing out by 2025, cars cannot be repaired. They're physically impossible to repair them. So see if it's designed after 6 years, it doesn't matter if it's sat in a garage and not turn a wheel. After 6 years, it's code. It's code inside it. I suppose there'll be a way of removing that code somehow. Somebody will think of something. But to think that it's the society we live in now, I mean, what we doing with all this lithium? I don't know if it's what it's like in the United States, but you should see here with all the e-cigarettes that's lying everywhere. The disposable e-cigarettes, they're everywhere. There's been fires started in the forests because because they've got wet and then they've exploded and they've set fire to the woods. You can't just like if lithium gets wet or lithium gets punctured, a lithium battery gets punctured, it bursts into flames.
Up. And they're wanting people to stick it in their mouth.
And you can't put a lithium fire out with water, ladies and gentlemen. You just make things worse by putting it in water. You've actually got to use a special
Yeah, you gotta use a special.
Chemical.
You gotta use a special foam for it. They actually have. They're actually kind of cool when you see them in action. But they have these specialized like little fire grenades that they can just toss in and it'll just blow out all this foam. It's kind of cool to watch.
I've seen it. There's the fire station just down for me. And electric cars, there was what I was talking to one fireman and he was telling us that they went to an electric car fire. It was in the motorway. And they put it out and it burst back into flames again. So they put it out, and it burst back into flames again. And they keep doing that, and they ran out of their stuff, and it actually melted the road. That's how hot it got when the lithium started burning.
They're wanting to put people in those.
Absolutely horrendous. the biggest waste of money in the history of mankind is electric cars. Total waste of money. I don't like electric cars. I think in the UK they're bringing out a new tax called the tyre tax for electric vehicles because they say the tyres are causing more deaths than it's causing cancer. They're saying that's what's causing cancer. It's the tyres.
How?
Seemingly, there's chemicals coming off the rubber that's causing
Yeah,
the
and
atmosphere. It's causing global warming. It's causing
they're
global
not doing
warming.
they're
They
not
don't.
doing
Yeah,
anything
they
about
just tell.
a lot of those same chemicals being put in the food supply.
I know. I know. Look at the Prime. Look at Prime.
Prime example.
Prime, definitely a prime example. Very good, but it's horrendous, man. They've come out with a report here in the UK that all UK fruit and veg has got forever chemicals in them for pesticides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That shit
yeah.
doesn't come off. It
It's
doesn't
quite
come off.
interesting. And this is no a dig the MD that's a vegan or somebody that doesn't eat animals or stuff like that. But I'm going to say this to these new vegans out there: you think these are all high and mighty because you don't eat meat, but you have no idea the amount of animals that are killed to make
Mm-hmm.
your food. You take, say, I don't know, 200 acres. That 200 acres, they say, I don't know, we'll say a crop is something that you eat, right? First of all, it gets sterilized. They kill every insect on it. Then they go after the things that eat the insects, like mice and voles and
Mm-hmm.
frogs and God knows what else. And they basically wipe them out. It's the same as in California with the almond.
Here,
Is it the almonds?
here.
They actually ship in, was it 10 billion bees? And at the end of it, they all die.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just to pollinate
The thing is, when it comes to farming any the vegan crop,
Yeah.
it's like you said, they got to go in with the pesticides to kill the bugs, and they got to go get something to kill the stuff that eats the bugs. Then you got to kill the stuff that eats those. And as they're harvesting, all the mice, the voles, all that stuff that gets in the way of the blades, chops it up. It's chopped up by the harvester blades. Then they got to go about another round and kill off all of the birds who have learned that if they just sit behind these harvesters, there's going to be some nice chopped up fresh meat.
One for I live in a farming community, and I'm not saying who did this, but I was away. It was a bit, maybe 10 miles away from where I was at a castle, and there was this weird smell in there. It was like a disinfectant smell, and I was like, "What the hell's that?" And it's like really, it smelled like bleach. There was the farmer something. He's like, "Oh, what you up to? You're at the castle?" I went, "Aye." Getting to talking to him, and I says, "What's that smell?" And he says, "Oh, don't worry about that. It's just the pesticides we put down in between the fields. It kills off all the rodents."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "What do you grow?" And he says, "Oh, we would grow barley and wheat and hops for the beer industry and stuff like that." And I says, "Does that not make it into the food system?" He says, "Nah." He says, "Aye, a wee bit it does, but it's all legal. It's all above board."
But yeah, there's I can't remember the exact term of it, but
That's
there's essentially fuck. I wish I remember the name of the term, and if
see,
anybody knows
the
it,
same with me with the
knows
alien one.
it's like alien things is one thing. Anybody in the chat knows the term, please do say it. But essentially, it's a term to describe how much of a supply of a certain item you would need in order to kill half the population.
Yeah.
Half a sample population. Water has a determination for this as well. They essentially has said that you can have less than this amount to kill off half the people.
Yeah. I know what you're
Is
talking
what
about, but I can't
that's
remember
what it
what it's called.
essentially.
Yeah.
It's essentially what it amounts to. They literally measure how much of this dangerous shit they can put in by killing off half of a population.
I'm going to tell you something right now. Is MD here? Do you like steak?
Of course.
Right. I live next to beef cattle properties, and I was talking to the farmer one day, and he was putting pellets into their feed. Just little wee pellets, just look like polar mints, just look like white pellets. And I'm like, what's that? He says antibiotics, and I'm like, what? And I says antibiotics. We've got to give them constantly to it's mixed into the feed. Now that's getting into that meat. Then that meat's getting killed, and then obviously the cow's getting killed. Then that's meat's going into your plate, and you're eating that, and you're actually consuming those antibiotics. Do you know that antibiotics have been proven to cause bowel cancer?
Mm-hmm. What doesn't cause cancer these days?
I know what doesn't cause cancer. I've not had an antibiotic in 6 years, and I'm hopefully stay away from them because they're good if you're no real, but see, just taking them for the most random things.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, profit over wildlife. There is no other how the governments won't let them. Yeah, legislation.
Well, a prime example of what's going on with a lot of major governments, and I think we can safely say that this is happening for both the U.S. and the UK. A prime example would be to look at the TikTok ban that was recently signed in
You
by
seen
President
that?
Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, TikTok naturally is going to fight it. They have a lot of ways of doing it. You know, the number of business owners. Bald and Bonkers is actually in the shop for TikTok as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, we're part of that fight now. Anyway, just look at the trial for the TikTok CEO, who was from Singapore, not China, and the number of times that the congressman said, "Oh, are you from China? Do you have a
Mm-hmm.
Chinese visa? Have you served in the Chinese military? Do you have any Chinese contacts?" China,
Mm-hmm.
trying to say that he was affiliated with China.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times the dude say, it's like, that's from Singapore. Oh, that's China.
No, it's not. It was British ruled at a certain point. It was like Hong
Hey,
Kong. Yeah. No.
the fuck?
What's that? It's an
I have
algorithm.
no clue.
Nah, just keep talking. Right, Unico?
Oh, sorry, that just fucking distracted me.
You're
But
talking to
anyway,
Singapore.
no, not Singapore, because they fucking rolled their eyes whenever they saw that bullshit. But nevertheless, a lot of the poor education that's being instilled on the public is from dumbass legislatures that don't know any better.
Yeah,
They don't know actually how shit works, which
I
is very,
seen this.
which is kind of scary when you think about it.
Look, I seen the guy asking the Chinese guy sitting at the table. He says like that, he says, "Did your home router access TikTok? Your phone accesses your home router. Your iPad accesses the home router. Your TV accesses your home router. Your laptop accesses the home router. Everything that you've got a Wi-Fi connected. My Jesus Christ and all its holy, my Apple Watch. I don't need my phone to use my Apple Watch. It's connected to the Wi-Fi in my house."
Mm-hmm.
And they were asking stupid questions that don't make any sense. I'll tell you why they're wanting rid of TikTok. I think they're wanting rid of TikTok because TikTok is going against the regime in America now.
Oh yeah.
Right. Because they're with Trump now, and Trump's obviously got a TikTok account on in there, and there's a lot of people that support Trump and TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's see if it was totally the other way around about. See if they all supported Biden, they wouldn't ban that. They wouldn't ban it. They wouldn't.
You know, there's this he goes by the name Renegade Science Teacher, who made a valid point in one of his videos. They had bipartisan support to ban TikTok over stopping wars, over feeding the homeless, taking care of the war veterans that were promised all their benefits for their terms of service. They chose to ban a children's dancing app, which granted has become a lot more than that since, but a children's dancing app instead of actually taking care of the people.
Yeah.
Instead of, they're trying to fund the wars going on right now instead of actually trying to stop them, stop people from dying. I guess less money going out to the poor people, huh?
That what Lawrence has just put there's interest, and I heard about that the other day.
Did you know that only recently it was said that the English how the fuck?
Right, you ever heard of a thing, Sunday dinner?
Okay,
Do
is
you
that
know it's now
something else over
illegal?
there?
It's actually illegal in the UK now, and you can look it up to say roast dinner, Sunday roast. You're not allowed to say that now because it's offensive to people.
So
Yep.
what, to vegans?
No, because seemingly roast means something else. I don't know. The youngsters are using roast to mean some other weird thing that I don't have a clue what they're talking about. But seemingly, look it up, type it in your Google.
Okay, I
It's
gotta look. I gotta look this.
it's,
What?
it's yeah. Look up roast. Look up the laws and saying roast dinner. It's the same as the Scottish one. I can't say good morning to somebody in case it's meant to be getting brought into law. Seemingly, if you say it, you can get done for a hate crime or some mad thing like that. George Orwell, 1984. I'm telling you, this country's had it. This country's totally gone. Completely. It's only a matter of time before it starts falling apart.
I think
I
it
knew
is
the
starting to
dying.
fall. I don't know. I
I'll look it up for you, wait a geez a sec, because I was on there the other day looking at it.
It's like, yeah, Sunday. It's like, yeah, there's Sunday dinner. Yeah, we had that over there, obviously, but not like. I don't know. I don't get it. Wouldn't want to be a young person growing up these days. Yeah, honestly, Iron Fire Horse.
Here we go. Here's the mirror.
I legitimately fear for my younger niece, who's barely 5 months old here in a week.
They're saying the women sparks heated debate over controversial roast dinner. You shouldn't call it roast dinner because it's controversial.
Can you send
Welcome
that
to
me?
women's sparks debate over controversial roast dinner. A woman's offence lynch has sparked debate online, even made it TV. She said her meals feels illegal. One joke needs discipline for her choice. So it's something to do with the. Here, I'll get it for you. It's funny in a minute, but I read the quote there. Sending it to you now. It's on its way.
Okay.
There's other ones there. I was seeing folk going on about it. There's Wales online. Shameless. It's because roast means something else in the dictionary. It's like kind of I was talking about like animal clapping sheep and stuff like that. Obviously, in my language it means just petting them in the head, but obviously in yours it means something totally different. Well, that's what it's starting to say about here, and it's the stupidest thing. And UK, I seen them all going on about it the other night, and they were talking about it in the Xbox the other night.
How the fuck is Sunday roast associated with sex?
Right, and that's why it's getting
What
banned.
the fuck?
Yep.
How? What?
Yep. Well, seemingly it's now getting banned.
If I'm reading this right, it's somehow associated sexually, and I'm just like,
Yep.
ha!
I know. It's
Did my face?
fucking,
What the fuck?
I know it's bad as my brother drew in the chat, but look, it's the world we live in. You can't say anything new in case you offend somebody.
Oh, fucking hell!
Look at Scotland, ladies and gentlemen. It's illegal to say good morning to somebody because then, if they disagree with you, you can be charged with a hate crime.
See, thank you, Iron Fire Horse. I was like roasting people. Are they talking like like the celebrity roasts they do?
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about
get me off this fucking planet.
I know. I've been begging them to take me back, but they'll not take me back. I'm like, where did I leave my spaceship parked up? I mean, come on, seriously, what's going on? It's like madness. The madness
And,
we're living in.
like,
You're
here's
not
the
allowed
thing.
to say roast dinner anymore. You've got to say like Sunday dinner.
That's the thing, and that the shit's allowed to prosper. I mean, think about it. Like, let's say what 20 years ago, this shit wouldn't be allowed. Everybody would just tell these people to shut the fuck up. It's
Exactly.
like this thing is allowed to prosper
But you've
because
got
that
to
people
remember,
will know that it would
for me in
stir up
Scotland, I'm not allowed to
controversy.
say that.
But
I can't
I'm in
say
the
that
US,
anymore. You've
so
just, but see, because if I had to say that to somebody, shut that. In theory, I could be fined up to £500, and I would be put on a list where I wouldn't be allowed to travel because I'd be classed as a criminal.
you think they would let you travel because they wouldn't want you around.
I know.
You know, right?
If I could get off this country, I'd be off in a flash. It's madness. You can't do nothing.
I'm speechless. I legitimately am speechless.
It's the world is mad. Here's one for you. Totally changing the subject. Did you see the horses escaped in London the other day? The black horse and the red horse. No, the black horse, the white horse with the red blood going down it. Did you see that?
No.
Do you know that was foretold? That was foretold for the Antichrist is coming. It's like an Nostradamus thing.
Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
You know how you've got the horse guards in London? Well, seemingly this is what they're blaming it on. Drew Kens about it. They were building work getting done. There was a big bang. The two guards were chucked off the horses at the Royal Palace, and the two horses ran away. But there was a black horse ran away, and there was a white horse ran away. But the white horse had blood all the way down it because it cut itself. Well, supposedly cut itself. But they're saying that's actually in Nostradamus. It's actually in the black horse, the white horse will be seen in the days leading up to what do you call it, the Antichrist. But I don't believe in all that shit. I think it's made up. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Weird.
I also say that a lot of Nostradamus prophecies are highly misinterpreted by people that didn't understand how he spoke.
I will say it was pretty close with the Hitler one. The Hitler one. Hitler. I'm going to say that anyway. It was. And he also said about the Euphrates, the Euphrates River will dry up and an army will come across. Well, the Euphrates River has dried up, nearly. And they're talking about an army for that side. And the army, we know that's what's happening in Europe, right? Could be an army. But I will say he was bloody close with Hitler. We called him Hister. As I'm going to say about that. Some of the stuff he came out with was a load of shit, never harmed. But then you've got Baba, is it Baba Vanga? You've got Harte, the blind mystic.
Well, that's the thing you gotta consider, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Time is not stone. It's not set in stone. It's very fluid. The very act of observation changes the outcome. That's what you got to take into consideration. Simply observing something happening changes how it will play out. That's why an old medium friend of mine, mind you, he was from Brooklyn. I know I've said this several times before, but I'm just clearing up for historical accuracy. He said, if you get a glimpse of the future and the future is good, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Pretend it didn't happen.
Pretend, exactly. I mean, look, there's a lot of weird, everybody's got weird traditions. If you go to Jerusalem now, I see they've killed the red heifers. Do you hear about
that? Aye.
And they've sacrificed them. They paid a lot of money for those cows. A lot of money. Millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars. Because they were a certain breed of cow. And they got to be completely red. They were genetically the way they sourced them out. But they seemingly sacrificed them. I mean, if you to go to Israel, that what's happening there is horrendous right now. You would think they would learn from what happened in the war, wouldn't you? You would honestly, you would think they would learn from what happened in World War II, and then they're doing it even have you seen that people, even some of the Jewish people, are rising up against their own leaders because of what's happening? I don't know why we
Yeah.
can't just live all together, man, and be in peace. I just don't understand it.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Like Samuel Chong was saying last week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is one of those situations where we have to start rising up, regardless of what our backgrounds are, because people up high are fucking manipulating us. They have been manipulating us for quite some time in order to get away with their own interests, especially in regards to money.
Exactly. It's the world's. We need to stop using money. Again, that's the stupid saying that because we need money for everything. But come on. I see the US dollar's about to collapse. That's inedible. I'll try to pronounce that word, but it's going to happen soon, really soon. I don't know what will take over after it, but probably that CBD system, digital currency. No.
Well, like I said before, technically, when you really look into it, the world is already partially funded on a digital currency system because we only have 10% actual physical value. We have 10% of all the world's funds right now is physical currency, like 5 to 10%. I can't remember the exact statistic on it. So everything else truly does not exist.
Exactly.
When you really think about it. So it's already in a digital currency. I mean, look at let's see, what was it? The founder of Cash App, who died under mysterious circumstances after the IRS basically put out their own version of Cash App.
Yep.
He ended up stabbed on the side of the road. That was a fucking hit. Where's the coverage on that shit?
Apple Pay and PayPal and all these digital kind of things to use to pay, either great, but they're all connected. They all lead back to one person who created them. And I learned something new tonight for somebody that's into this kind of stuff. If you get a digital banking app,
who doesn't these
days?
I'll
get you in. But do you know that if you've got a digital banking app, the government can access all your information and they can take anything they want.
Yep.
And people don't realize it.
I'm well aware of how that shit works. Yeah. Now, typically, a lot of these banks would have to have some sort of warrants put out, stuff like that in order to freeze accounts. Basically the police would have to prove that this person was, say, like a major terrorist or things like that.
Yep.
And they need to dry up his resources as much as possible before someone else gets hurt. It happens. It does happen.
But then they bring in the CBD system, whereas they don't want you using your car outside your area. Like, say there's another lockdown, right? Let's say there's another mad, weird pandemic that gives you madness, right? Grows back here or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, there's a weird pandemic, right? Me and you'll be line up, we'll be deliberately going up to folk going, give me it. But anyway, never mind that. What if you go to you're in the digital currency and they're like, right, you're not allowed to travel 6 miles for your house, but you go 6 miles out of your house and you get into a shop or you go to buy gas, but your bank doesn't work because it knows that you're outside 6 miles outside your house. You see where I'm going with this? And then it comes down to the 15-minute cities where they close you in. And do you know the show we did? And was it Man Chung? See that show? Did you get a strike for that show? Out of curiosity?
Nope. At least not on any of the main channels.
See how it goes out and goes to Scotland. It's restricted.
It got hit. It got hit on there.
I couldn't monetize it. It wouldn't let me monetize it. It wouldn't let me monetize it.
Shitting me.
No, it wouldn't let me. I couldn't let it. Was restricted monetized. Let me, I'll show you. If you get into your YouTube studio,
I'm actually going in right now because I gotta see this shit.
It wouldn't let me monetize. You'll notice it's not monetized. Where is it? Live.
Right, YouTube studio.
It's there. It's
man, you look up a lot of porn.
So that alien stuff, man. Get stay after a wee while. But you'll notice it's the guest reflections. It's not the one for that. It's the one after it. It wouldn't let me monetize it because every time I monetized it, it says this is unmonetizable and you may get a strike. So it wouldn't let me monetize it.
It's saying that it's monetized on my end.
Yep. But when I click on it, it'll not let me monetize it through the app. And I tried doing it through the main end, but it says it was restricted. It's maybe my country.
It says, I'm looking at it right now. It says this video is being monetized.
But no, it's not monetized on my end.
I'm looking at it. I'm in Squad Scotland account. In
We'll
the
see for
YouTube
new one.
studio.
We'll see for new one. You're going to have to do it for me for the videos because it'll not let me do it through my end because I'm in the UK.
Maybe.
Because it came up a big red. See the dollar symbol?
Aye.
It came up red for me and it says unmonetizable.
Well, you just need to stop running your damn mouth so damn much.
I know, terrible, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? I'll just get him to monetize it. It'll be fine. It's not as if you make it on it anyway. But, get what I mean? But
Right.
once we start the extreme sports, bungee jumping, parachuting, we should start making the money in, Go fund me for Dakota.
Yeah, are you actually going to be getting
I'll
in
do it.
there and not being a
No,
lazy motherfucker?
I'm going to come with you. I'm going to do it at the same time as you. Parachuting.
Unfortunately, I looked into it. I'm too big.
I know. You're too big.
I seriously am.
I'm the same. I can't do either.
I went to look into it after my grandma went down to Vegas and said she was going skydiving. I was just like, I want to come.
We could pick somebody out the chat today.
Are you wanting to toss your brother out of an airplane?
I think he would love it. I honestly think he'd be right into that kind of stuff. As long as it was maybe over the Caribbean, some of the islands that have not been looked over yet. You get what I'm talking about? Ones that have not been investigated yet. Thousands of islands out there.
Oh no, I think we'll drop them off on Epstein's Island.
There's nothing there anymore. It's just an empty shack.
How do you know?
Do you think they do? Do you think they do have those secret tunnels in the Rockets? The what?
In the Rockies?
The Rockies.
Yeah, it's called the cave systems, and they're fairly complex. You don't know what you're doing, you're going to end up dead. In fact, they say there's rumors that there might actually be an inner Earth entrance not too far from me.
The Mount Shasta one, there's meant to be the city that I can't remember their name, but they live in there. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, Mount Shasta is one of the more popular ones, obviously, but there's other spots that have some very similar anomalies. And speaking of which, now that the weather's actually getting nicer, that might start kicking up again.
What? Talking about weather, did you see that anomalies back?
Are you talking about the one out of Antarctica?
Started again. Weather modification, that's what it is. I was talking to somebody that's friends with... See the YouTuber that broke that? The big YouTuber that broke that? I can't remember his name. But anyway, the big YouTuber that broke that is friends with my friend. And I was actually talking to that the other day about this. And see me, it's HARP. It's HARP. That's where they've put it down. It's HARP. It was weird just after that. Look what happened in Saudi Arabia. It was just that the big black spot was getting up and Saudi Arabia was out here. And then what was that? Fucking 10 years worth of rain fell in like a minute or something stupid like that. That was bad.
Saudis are needing it.
But yeah, I think they fucked up there, by the way. I really do think they fucked up there. But
well, when you fuck up with technology like that bug comes to bite you in the ass.
I'm going to say this, there's something wrong with the weather. There's something wrong with the weather here in the UK. It's not just me that's noticed it. There's other people noticed it. Hello, whoever you are. But I'm going to tell you why. Yesterday, I was out in the car. It was 17 Celsius. 17 Celsius. I checked my weather app. It said it was 18 Celsius, so it was a wee bit colder. Obviously, in the car, you're driving along, it's colder. And I thought to myself, and I was out a walk. And I wasn't far for the car. I was like maybe 800 meters, and then all of a sudden it got really cold, and I could see my breath. Right, so I get back to the car like half an hour later, and it dropped down to 2 Celsius. Right, then I did my card readings like I usually do, and it was way back up again to 19 Celsius. And I checked the weather app, and it was at 19 again. I get back out, and it was warm. So I went home, brought the washing in. I'm standing looking at the back, and I seen these white things coming down, big bits of snow. Right, I went outside, and I thought it's warm. And there's a temperature, kind of the old-fashioned temperature gauges on the wall that I've put up,
Mhm.
kind of the one with the mercury in them, and it said 18C, and there was bits of snow coming down. That means that there's something going on in the stratosphere. That means that there's something going on in the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there's something. And I have noticed this, and a lot of friends round about me. I've got friends that keep bees for honey. The bees are dying. They're like flying about, disorientated, and just dropping down dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, something is going on. They're doing something to. I think they're trying to fuck the crops up deliberately.
Would not be
Nothing can
shocking.
get pollinated. Yeah. It's like
Would not be
it's weird
shocking.
because I've got a weather station. Right, and I'll tell you exactly how warm it is outside. It's 6 Celsius outside right now. But it was weird because it was like, what the hell is going on? 1 minute it was warm, and then 10 minutes later it was freezing, and then 10 minutes later it was warm again. It was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Is that like geoengineering or something?
Manipulation of ELF.
Is that what that is? Eh?
They utilize the ELF frequencies in order to manipulate the weather patterns.
So
Which
what
is
do you think?
interesting. Which is interesting when you really think about it. Because a lot of psychic phenomenon has actually been traced to very similar frequency ranges.
Yeah. See, there's one
So
sec.
harp technology could actually be used to fuck with people psychically when you
See,
really
I
think
was thought
about it.
that. I was thought that. It's called the Scottish Summer. But Drew, you live in it's weird
I
this
know.
year. There's
I was
just
about
something.
to,
It's no right.
I
We
was
never
about to
had heavy
say
snow
it's the weird.
this year.
It's like about to say the weird weather. It was like, what was it? Sunny and nice and beautiful.
I'm going to say this. The skies were blue, but it was like somebody was playing tic-tac-toe with airplanes.
Yeah, get a lot of
It
those
was
over here too.
ridiculously bad. I mean, it was ridiculously bad, really bad. And I don't know if you've noticed this, Dakota, because I know that you're a gaming person. Seen a lot of like real world games now. They do a lot of chemtrailing deliberately in the games. Have you seen that, especially in GTA? And that's obviously the younger people will look at that and think, oh, that's just chemtrails. When they go outside, they'll just think, oh, that's normal because they'll see it in the game because they'll be that used to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, there's something no right. The bees are dying. No, even bees, wasps are dying. And this is the time of year when you start getting the yellow jackets, like what you call them, looking for I know. But I've been finding lots of them like twitching dead, just like twitching away, twitching as if they're taking a stroke. Dead. I found a queen yellow jacket lying at the back the other day, and I was like, big thing, right? It's dead. Dead. That's very unusual. You don't get that. What the fuck is happening, my sweeties? Listen, guys. Pete here, Son of the Naked Bigfoot, is 4 subscribers off of 50, right? Please, Drew, could you please go and subscribe to Son of the Naked Bigfoot? I think you'll like him. He's got a very interesting channel. He learned something new the other day with a Ohio State trooper. Could you please go and subscribe to him? Let's get him. Let's get Son of the Naked Bigfoot to 50 subscribers so he's going to do a live. Send me the link. Right, come on. Pete, drop your channel link in the chat, could you please? Which channel? I'm just going to copy it here. Share.
With the event, anyway, as we were saying, with everything that's going on now, and the events are supposed to be happening just over the next year, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see what happens next.
Oh yeah. To be honest with you, I don't think there's got to be wars. I don't think there's got to be another war. And that's my honest opinion. My predictions is the climate is going to go through the roof. Something weird's going to happen this year. But it's got to be man-made, but they'll put it as global warming bullshit. Bet that happens.
They're going to push global warming narratives, so you're going to see even more potentially weird viruses starting to come out. I've noticed they've been trying to push those too.
You seen the new virus in Japan?
Oh,
Strep A. The new, look it up. The new virus that's it's a bacterial virus, and they're saying it's spreading in Japan.
Streptococcal A, commonly known as Strep A, threatening children.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new strain. Fatality rate 30%. They're not exactly sure what's triggering it, but it is strep throat.
Yeah. But here's a question. I mean, what's your prediction for this year? Do you think the weather's got to get more extreme?
Honestly, I think we're going to be seeing things coming at us from all angles.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, you see that video clip coming out of LaGuardia Airport?
No. What's this?
So this woman, LaGuardia is out of New York City, right? So this woman and her kid, they're on a flight, heading out of New York City. And as you do, if you're lucky enough to have a window seat, you maybe want to take some pictures of the New York skyline.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sight. And as she's recording video, she goes to notice all of a sudden something darts across her screen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first thing she thinks is that, is that a bug that's in the plane? No. It's a silver cylindrical object that's darting through the air and fast. And it's pretty impressive how close it is, too.
That's interesting. I'll need to look that up when I get back. I will say that video that Dot shared is interesting. You seen that?
Yes, Dots, I did see that. I know I didn't really respond to it, but I was kind of preoccupied.
Yeah, he's floating about. Zero G again.
You can say
bloody
that.
Terrible. Can he stop him? There's some many bloody wains about up there. I think they need to
Only
bring up.
four.
I think they need to get a fucking condom machine fitted in the spaceship.
Only 4 that I'm aware of.
But come on. I mean, look.
And again, going back to my earlier question, what is it with you and your fascination with my love life?
I just find it interesting. I find it intriguing because I think Son of the Naked Bigfoot, he would find it interesting too how extraterrestrials do it, especially if you got loads of tentacles and stuff like that.
Oh, his dad was interested in that. Was asking about that type of stuff. And I'm just like,
I'm going to say this to
no, he asked on Alive.
Mm-hmm.
He asked on Alive. He's like, I would just be interested in alien sex rituals.
I'm going to blame it on Mike the Naked Bigfoot. He has possessed me, and that's why I'm asking you.
You have been asking about that since before he passed. You sick, perverted, lonely fuck.
But come on, what's that? It's like strep throat. There's Pete Put. It's like strep throat, but only catching it doing oral things. Well, you better watch yourself, Pete.
As Christine says, like father, like son.
Oh, God. Let's see how many subscribers Pete's got now. Hey, he's nearly there. He only needs 3 more, I think. Come on, guys. Give him a subscribe. I want to see him there live for like a haunted location or something.
Well, we had him past 50, but then YouTube started taking away.
Nah, that's what YouTube does. You know what I mean?
I know.
YouTube
They They hit us with that too anytime we get a decent guest, but nature
I
of the
know,
beast.
I know,
That's why all of our stuff is backed up on Rumble and so many different other locations.
I know, but at least, yeah, I mean, at least it's not happened so far. Oh, please don't happen.
I was about to say, and it is kind of interesting when you think about it that only certain channels are getting hit for certain videos.
Oh, I
You know
know.
what I mean?
It's like, there's channels out there that are like ghost channels that are 100% fake. Instead of that, all right, they're getting hit for that. But I've noticed that if the Bald and Bonkers show gets hit, right? If you go to the other channels, it doesn't get hit whatsoever. I don't understand that. You'd think it would
And that's what I
affect them all.
mean. And it's the same for the same fucking videos. Nothing's been altered between any of them. Know what I mean? And the main channel gets copyright notices anytime someone's puts up our content, and we can issue a takedown if needed. But you would think that they would also get hit with the same flags. Like
It's
the last
definite.
couple times we had Danny
I
Henderson on.
Oh, I know. She must get attacked quite a lot. I mean, she
She
does put
does.
out really good videos. She really
Yeah.
does put out really
Oh,
good
that
videos.
Danny honestly kind of reminds me of my grandmother.
Oh, but she's quite young anyway. Danny's not that old. She's only in her 40s, same age as
No,
me.
no. That's not what
That's
I mean. That's
terrible
not what I
saying
mean.
that, Danny. Danny, you need to slap him the next time you see him at an event.
That means it's a heartfelt woman whose mouth gets her in a hell of a lot of trouble. And
I
anybody
will
who
say
actually
that.
follows her can
I've,
probably attest to that.
I like her shows. I like her shows. I watch her shows. I
I tease
sometimes
with love,
comment,
Danny, I promise.
give
But
a
I honestly
slap.
do think you and my grandma would probably get along very well.
That's terrible.
These
Terrible.
they are very much alike.
Hmm, there you go. So what's on the show tomorrow?
And more BSing because, like I said, hey, why do I got to come up with everything, man? I'm working overtime.
I've got guests coming on. I've got a World Around Psychic coming on. 2 World Around Psychics coming on next month.
We'll see if they're worth a damn.
They're actually quite good. Son of the Naked Bigfoot, Pete, join us tomorrow night, man. Come on the live with us.
Why not?
Come on live with us, man, and tell us about what you've all been doing and stuff. You don't need to turn on your camera if you
Hey,
don't want to.
if you're worried about being seen as ugly, he shows his face.
I know, I come out all the time. I mean, I try to make him feel better, you know. At least I can grow a beard. At least
At
I
least
don't
I
have
can
like
get
baby
laid.
hairs. At least no, but your lid is different for like anybody else's. You're in like space, zero
Nah.
G, floating about, do, do, you know, floating about there. You know,
Yeah, at least it's nowhere near as bad as that one couple of interns that decided to do it inside NASA on top of some moon rocks.
I heard that. I heard about
God,
that.
it's like pick a classier place. Come on.
I tell you
Anyway, we
what,
should
before
probably
we end
sign
this,
off.
we should really talk about the moon more and why we didn't go back there and stuff like that. Because I maybe was getting asked questions like that. Let's talk about that tomorrow.
I know because there's been
And
a lot of
strange
activity.
paranormal stuff.
I know you were wanting to talk about that railway on the moon, but I guess we can bring it up tomorrow.
Bring up tomorrow. Everybody be safe, guys. See you all tomorrow. Pete, stay away from Ohio State troopers and don't be saying things that you shouldn't.
Yeah, Pete. It takes a certain amount of good looks to get away with asking to be cuffed.